I've always had an enemy. In my entire life, I was always fighting against something, whether it was an opponent or even being broke. I was fighting against being poor. I've always lived life waking up every day feeling like I had an enemy at the gate. And that's the only way I feel comfortable. And now the new enemy is the Matrix and the New World Order. And it is my imperative to just speak the truth and do my best to make God happy with me and my ancestors happy with me, including my father, by standing up for what I believe is truly right. And that's why I do the things I do. All of you at home know this. Perhaps I'm on the front line and I'm taking the most flack, and it may look like I'm the guy who's going through the most crap right now. That's fine. But we are all in this battle together. You are either in this battle against the Matrix, because once you have your life together, once you're truly happy and you're truly strong and your finances are strong and you think for yourself, once you resist the slave mind, you're automatically against the Matrix. So your choices are either to resist the slave mind and join the battle as the resistance, like you people are, or accept the slave mind. But then the battle is different. The battle isn't against the Matrix anymore. Then the battle is against yourself. You're fighting against your own weight. You're fighting with your wife who doesn't love you anymore. You're fighting with your own depression. You're going to have to fight. You either fight against yourself and your unhappiness because you have caved to the Matrix and its programming, or you resist the slave mind and join the resistance. This fight is not going anywhere for anybody. It is here to stay, and it's going to stay for the entirety of our lives, and you need to make a choice. The reason I am fighting is because I don't want the other side. I refuse to say things I don't believe. I refuse to cower and cuck and let my mind be poisoned. I refuse. Now, yes, I'm charging first in front of my army into battle. Yes, I'm going to take a lot of flack to do that, but I don't see any other choice. And that's why I'm here and I'm doing these things.
When they empty your brain, they will inject the slave mind. When they destroy your morality, they are even attempting to destroy your own faith in your own eyes. When you see somebody and you assume correctly, because every single other time you've assumed such circumstance in your life about this person's gender, you've been correct. You assume they were born one biological sex or the other, and they tell you you're wrong. They tell you your eyes are wrong.
Not allowed to.
Your brain is wrong. Do you understand that they're doing this so that when you can't trust your own eyes, that they can just tell you the most blatant lies in the world and you have to believe them? If you can't believe your own eyes, then what can you believe? Your own perceptions don't matter. That's why when I was arguing with that guy who wears the dresses, and I was saying, I've seen more bad driving from women. He's like, but the evidence, crying his eyes out. He believes what he's told.
Yeah, but the evidence is that men are better.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, you're right. But let's stop beside the point. He has 7 injections. He believes what he's told. He's a slave. He's a slave mind. He can't think for himself. It doesn't matter how many times he sees bad driving from a woman. He believes the narratives. That's why he's an agent of the Matrix, because he's not smart enough to think for himself. They are trying to empty your brain and inject it so you end up like these clowns. These clowns who say they dislike me can't even say why. If you ask me why I dislike somebody or something, I'll tell you exactly fucking why. Exactly. These people are sitting here with strong opinions. They have a strong opinion that they can't substantiate. Imagine being so programmed that you have strong emotions around a subject and you don't even know why.
I'm absolutely a positive influence, and that's the problem. The key word there is influence. The reason the Matrix has attacked me is because of that. It's because I am an influence. And when they don't like influence because I've not sold my soul. They don't control me. And normally when you become massively influential, they control you. You either sign a contract, or your sponsor, or your manager, whatever. They have some kind of leverage over you to make sure you only say what you are supposed to say. I'm an individual which they do not control. I have mass influence over the population of Earth. And when you have somebody like me who is principled, who has morals, who believes in God, who will not sell their soul, will not promote degeneracy, who also has mass influence, they see me as a threat, because they say there are certain agendas which he will not promote because of his immorality. And we need immoral people who have sold their souls absolutely and completely, so they'll enforce the slave programming amongst the population. So they see me as a threat because of my mass influence. And me being positive in and of itself is also a threat to the establishment, because they don't want people to be happy. They want you to be semi-depressed and sad and miserable, because when you're sad, you're self-obsessed.
You're distracted.
you're distracted and you're self-obsessed. When you're sad, you're sitting at home, me. It makes you very selfish. You don't care about your community when you're sad. You don't care about your country when you're sad. You don't care about the injustices of the world when you're sad. You don't care about trying to actually go and make the world a better place because you're too busy thinking about yourself. So they want you miserable, semi-depressed, sad, unhappy, so that you can sit at home and accept them doing whatever they want to the planet and other people without ever talking or standing up or doing the right thing. If you're happy and motivated, you're going to be far more likely to fight against injustices. So the fact that I have mass influence and I can just make people feel better is a threat to them. They don't want me to make people feel better. They talk about men's mental health and pretend to care. But when I come along and genuinely help and stop people from committing suicide, they delete me. They don't want that. They want everybody semi-depressed. They want you miserable. They want you distracted so that you're too busy crying your eyes out in a room somewhere or sitting in deep thought, worrying about this girl who left you so they can just continue to run the world. You just mentioned something that's very, very important, which is the men's mental health crisis. And the reason that exists, I think, is because men are being told to sign up to a life that they don't want. Men, like I said, there's a rebel inside of every man, and men have a desire, an innate desire for adventure and for conquest to a degree. And they're told to sign up to this cucked life where you just go to school, go to university, sit there, don't say what you really think, accept the slave programming, get a marriage, which is sexless and boring, sit there, corporate job, pay your taxes, kids don't respect you, and it's just fucking depressing. If I lived most of those lives, I'd be depressed. And the men's mental health crisis is something I've been helping specifically. I've had thousands of emails from people saying that I've helped with their mental health. And I've been sitting there just basically saying, look, you're not going to feel good as a man unless you're conquering something, unless you develop some degree of exceptionalism, unless you can look in the mirror and be proud of yourself. Every single man is born with an ego, which you need to find a way to justify. If you have an ego that you can't justify, you're going to feel unhappy. And I've been helping people, and I've had thousands of emails saying exactly that, but they delete me. They don't give a shit. They don't give a fuck about the men's mental health crisis. They don't care. They want us to pay the taxes and build the roads and shut the fuck up when a woman tells us something and to sit there afraid. And because I stick up for men, the world is now convinced that I hate women for some reason. I don't hate women. I just believe that men have a voice too. I don't. Why would I hate women? I love women. But my house right now is full of beautiful women. I have nothing against women. I just think that men have a voice and we're allowed to talk. That's all.
I think truthfully in the world we're living in now, I use this analogy a lot. Maybe I overuse it, but you need to find a way to some degree to escape the matrix. And I say the matrix because the matrix, the way it is designed.
And you're not just talking shit because you've actually done that.
I've escaped the matrix.
Yeah.
I've literally escaped the matrix in nearly every form. So any form of oppression no longer applies to me. I can't be canceled. I can say what I want. My finances are secure. I've escaped the matrix. And when I talk about the matrix, it primarily applies to men because men are the backbone of the slave force. We always have been and always will be. And unfortunately now, if you're a law-abiding man inside the matrix, your future and the life that is laid out for you is nothing but depressing. You're going to go to school, you're going to get in debt, you're going to get a job, you're going to get a wife, divorce is coming, you're going to lose the house eventually, your job's shit, inflation's outpacing your wages, you're going to work, no one's going to appreciate it, now you're old and your life's over. That is the matrix for 99% of men, and you need to find a way to escape it. And I guess I was kind of fortunate from a young age. I always knew that the matrix was coming and that the system is designed to oppress. The people who make the rules do not make the rules for the benefit of us. They make the rules for the benefit of the people who make the rules. And I knew that. And I think every person intrinsically knows that. Like if it's 4 a.m. and you're sitting in a gas station and a Lambo pulls up, you're probably thinking drug dealer or criminal. You're not thinking, oh, he definitely went to school. The system is absolutely broken. It's designed to oppress. And that the majority of people who stick to the rules are going to lose. I don't want to sit here on a podcast that goes out to this many people and encourage anyone to break the law in any form.
Of course.
But the idea of the law-abiding citizen has been decimated in real time. In the last 3 years ago, you could stand there and proudly say, I'm a law-abiding citizen. The last 2 years, if they have not taught you that being a law-abiding citizen is going to turn you nothing into a fucking experiment for Big Pharma, then you're an idiot. You can no longer obey the law. And I'm not saying you have to break the law, but you need to find a way to do what the elites do, which is bend the law.
Yeah.
You can no longer sit there and go, I'm just going to follow the rules and it's going to be okay. No, it isn't. And if you're a man, it's your job to find a way to not be sticking to those rules enough to escape the matrix and become free. Because what's actually most crazy about this period of history is that it's actually the easiest time in human history to become rich. And the reason for that is because there's so many people inside the matrix being destroyed. Money has to go somewhere. I've made so much money during COVID, is absolutely incredible, right?
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of people got lucky.